Well, hello there, Mr. and Mrs. YouTube. I have returned for a vinyl update and stuff. I got starting off here with a few, I guess you'd call them bubblegum cards or trading cards. On the wrapper it says collector's cards. And I'm not going to take these out and show you all of them, but I got 4 packages of this one. It's Weirdos collector's cards. There's 4 packages of those. And I don't think these are the originals. I think these are reproductions of the original ones, because these came out in 2007. And then I also picked up 1 pack of this. It's also Weirdos baseball cards, which I have some of the original ones of these. And so there's that. Just something different, you know. You run across different stuff from time to time, and I mean, I seen some other cards there that I'd like to have had, but you can't win them all. Where would you put them? And then I picked this magazine up. It's Led Zeppelin 50th anniversary, and got this at Barnes & Noble. They had probably 3 or 4 different Zeppelin magazines for their 50th anniversary. I like this one the best. This is also a parade, which is the one I showed in a previous video. Was a 200 Years of Frankenstein, was done by this same company. And this goes through all the albums, of course, and it goes through all the songs, what the songs mean and where they were written, and, you know, basically the story behind every song, it says. And then I picked this up, Totally Mad 60 Years. This is a thick hardback, and you know, it's Mad magazine, so what can you do but buy it. And this also had, before I forget, it has these pictures here in the back. These are, they come out of here, and they're fit for framing. That's the coolest one in the front, by the way. I won't take those out, but it's just basically some Mad magazine covers, is what they are, or artwork that was in the magazine. And let me check this text message real quick. It's downloading. It does that. I think because my Wi-Fi is upstairs, it's not a strong enough signal. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not. Anyway, so this past week was Black Friday Record Store Day, and I had never participated in that before, but this year there was a few things that I really wanted, and then there was also some stuff that I wasn't aware of until the day of, I think, or maybe the day after. So anyway, one of the things that I got is, this was really cool, Record Store Day, Iggy and the Stooges Rare Power. I have Raw Power and I have More Power, so now I have Rare Power. And this one is, I'll just read what it says. Celebrate the 45th anniversary with the rarest and the rawest. 9 deep cuts officially on the LP for the first time. Officially on LP for the first time. Alternates and outtakes from the Raw Power, one of the greatest rock albums of all time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 songs that were from the Raw Power sessions that wasn't on the original album. Then there's a remix of a song. There's another remix of a song, and another remix of a song, which were songs that were on the Stooges albums. And then there's a live performance song from 1973 in New York City. So yeah, when I seen this, it's like, yeah, I have to have that. and they had several copies of it, so I was lucky. And it's just black vinyl there. So, and it came with a download card, which I'll be doing that as soon as I finish up with this. That was technically the only record store day release that I bought. There was a couple other things that I wanted, but they didn't, where we went, didn't actually have that. So I'll probably order those later if I can. But this one, I just watched this documentary on Amazon. And here, I'll show you. It's Looking for Johnny. It's the Legend of Johnny Thunder's soundtrack. This one's a numbered limited edition. This is number 755 out of 2000, right there. And this documentary is really interesting, really good. I learned a lot of things about Johnny Thunders that I didn't know, because I mean, I knew he was in the New York Dolls, and I knew he had a solo career, but beyond that, I didn't really know much. So, if you're curious, and you don't know much, like I did, you want to check out that documentary. And it's a double album. It's red vinyl, I guess you could say. Almost translucent, but not quite. Double album, both red. And it's they had quite a few other Johnny Thunders albums there, but this one, because like I said, I just watched the documentary, was sort of fresh in my mind. And the few songs that I was familiar with, they are on this soundtrack, which is let's see, You Can't Put Your Arms Around a Memory, which I already knew that song, because it's on the Guns N' Roses Spaghetti Incident. They cover it. Let's see, is there any other ones on here? Seems like there was one more. I mean, I've heard these on the documentary, but I've only heard them once, so I'm not real familiar with it. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's a really good documentary. Check it out. Highly recommended. And I also watched, the same day I watched, what was it? I think it's called Who Killed Nancy? It's about Sid and Nancy, of course, concentrating mainly on the death of Nancy. That's a really good documentary, too. I don't know if there's a soundtrack for that or not. There probably is. Hang on a second. Yep, that's coffee. Just wanted to make sure. On to the other vinyl that I picked up. This one was a free record. It was in a box of free records. And Scooby-Doo, where are you? I didn't have any Scooby-Doo records. But now I do. This is a Peter Pan record. And it's not in the greatest of shape. But for free, you know, it's a record I didn't have. It looks like it would actually play. I can't feel any of these scratches. So I'm going to clean it really good and give it a whirl. See what happens. And then this was also a free record. It's not in the original sleeve, but it needs cleaned. It's the Fugs' first album. And I have their second album, but I didn't have this one. So with or without the sleeve, I was going to go ahead and take it for free. And then this one I bought in the dollar bin. Freddie Hubbard, Bundle of Joy. It's a jazz artist. Been really wanting to get a lot of this kind of thing from this artist specifically, but there's a few other ones that I'd like to get too. And I hadn't seen this one before, so 99 cents. It's got the trumpet there on it. Is that the trumpet? I guess it is. Could be a saxophone, but I don't think it's a saxophone. Anyway. And then this one here, the House Rockers. Cracking Under Pressure, dollar bin, gold stamp promo, which I don't know if that really means anything or not. Guess it depends on who you ask. Wasn't familiar with this band, but it looked interesting. I mean, the picture on the back, the picture on the front, and the picture on the back, there they are. Some of the song titles, Rock and Roll Heart, Hit the Road Jack, Girl Problems, the title track, Soul Rockin'. Came out on MCA in 1983, looks like, on there. So, it's worth $1. Probably turned out to be really good. This one I grabbed just because I thought it was who I thought it was. I came home and looked it up for the correct spelling under Wikipedia or Discogs or whatever, and looked at the discography of this artist, and this was the very first album in 1979 that this guy put out, and this is a DJ copy. It's Robert Fleshman, Perfect Stranger. He was the original singer for the Vinnie Vincent Invasion on the first album that they did, and then he left the band, and Mark Slaughter took over for the tour and the second album. So I was really surprised because, one, I didn't realize that he had done albums. I think he only did one other album after this one, like quite a few years after this one, I think in the early 80s. And then he did the Vinnie Vincent Invasion and then some other stuff after that. But it has the original sleeve with it. The lyrics. Haven't listened to this yet, but I'm sure it's going to be good because I don't know if he's singing the same exact way as he did on Vinnie Vincent Invasion, but, and I just recently heard today that, well, Vinnie Vincent Invasion had, or not Vinnie Vincent Invasion, but Vinnie Vincent, if you're a Kiss fan at all, you'd know this, had announced a few dates for, I guess, an electric show. I think it was supposed to be in November or December, and he postponed them to February. And Robert Fleshman was supposed to do the vocals on that, but I guess he had recently dropped out, and I hadn't heard the reason behind it, so I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign. It would almost seem like a bad sign, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, I wasn't planning on going to those shows. I think they're in Nashville, but curious as to see what's going to go on with that. This one I picked up because the artwork is awesome. Explosive Hits. And I have another record that has similar artwork, probably by the same artist. It's a compilation too. This has some pretty good songs on it, I thought. Has Mungo Jerry, the Box Tops, The Who, Jaggers, Shocking Blue, Cufflinks, Tommy James, Cream, Bee Gees, Canned Heat, to name a few. So, should be an interesting listen. It's in fairly decent shape. And then this one I picked up, John Clemmer, Fresh Feathers. I asked Kat if she had this, and she wasn't sure. I knew I didn't have it, so if she doesn't have it, she can have this one. If not, then I'll keep it. But you've heard us talk about John Clemmer before. He's a good, smooth saxophone player. This one was in the dollar bin too, but since it's a double album, it was $1.99. Elvis commemorative album, and this is the album here. I have the original album of this, but this one was sort of unusual, I thought. It has, if I can get a hold of it here, it's a double album, and it's on gold vinyl, which is very odd to me. It almost seems like every Elvis record should be on gold vinyl, but if you know anything about Orion, or Jimmy Ellis, that was the other one, you would know that his albums are on He's on the Sun label, and his albums are on gold vinyl. But Elvis's, other than this one, I'm sure there was some more, but I hadn't seen any of Elvis. Moody Blue is on blue vinyl, but that's the standard for that one. And what was I going to say? I think that was it. But let me read. It doesn't have the track listing. I'll just read a few of the songs here. Don't Be Cruel, Loving You, Jailhouse Rock, Can't Help Falling in Love, Let Me Be Your Teddy Bear, Hard-Headed Woman, It's Now or Never. I'm going to read both of them, but that wasn't all the songs on one either. But you know, it's like a greatest hits of Elvis. It says limited edition. This is number 18215. So I thought it was unusual. Came out in 73. So I think that's all I have in this video. Did I show it all? Yes, I did. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe if you're not currently a subscriber. What was I going to say? Check out my Facebook page, with which coincides with this channel, Hernando's Vinyl Hideaway, and like it and so on. I also post these videos that you'll see here on my YouTube channel on that Facebook page. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next vinyl update.